Welcome to the Buck Stops here, the official audio program of NotInHallOfFame.com, and I'm your host, Kirk Buchner, the Buck, the owner and the operator of NotInHallOfFame.com and the sister sites, one of which we're going to talk about today, the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame and the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's Season 1, Episode 26, and we originally were going to talk about some of the franchises and how they take care of their respective Halls of Fame, and some have them, some don't. But a big section is going to be coming up at NotInHallOfFame.com, and it goes back to the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame and the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're going to be announcing the Semi-Finalists, which you can all vote on for that shortly. But we just have a bit of a preview where we're talking about all the Semi-Finalists for the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame. And what's a fictitious athlete? Well, just sit back, have some fun. You're going to learn something before it's done. Hey, hey, hey. Without further ado, here's our regular co-host, Evan Nolan. Evan, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, not too bad. As we're recording this, it's in between our Canada Day and your 4th of July. So I had my second Canada Day festivities here in Barbados with a few other couples, another one from Winnipeg. So played a lot of the Tragically Hip all day.
Oh, wow. That's a band who we should bring up at some point. Unfortunately, just lost their lead singer not too long ago.
Yeah. I was actually, because when they had their farewell tour, that was one band, because as I'm sure you know, Gord Downey had announced that he was essentially dying, which he was. And so they did the farewell tour, and I'd never seen them, so I got to see them in Edmonton on their farewell tour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was sort of like one of the bands that I always had on my list to finally go see, and I kind of did under, I guess, sort of sad circumstances. But, yeah, it was pretty emotional.
I guess it is sad circumstances, but at least he knew ahead of time enough that he could go do it one last time, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really all. A goodbye tour is pretty much all we can hope for coming out of this world. So,
no, exactly. It was, the whole time I'm watching that concert, I was kind of stoked, just like watching his interaction with the audience, and in a way, it felt very Canadian because he could do so much with so little. Just. Mm-hmm. Little facials that he would do, just simple, subtle points to the audience. And that's really all he had to do. Just the music sort of stood on its own. And in a sort of a stripped down way. It was it's really our patriotic band, if that makes any sense. There's no band in Canada. I think people of my generation and maybe a 20-year window above or below me would agree with that. More so than Rush, who was far more popular, but the hip always felt like ours.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
not Spirit of the West.
Not Spirit of the West. I thought you were going to go somewhere far more sarcastic with that. Like no.
Oh no, I just love my Acadian rock. So.
Oh, very, very well done. Actually, I finally got to see Sloan just last year too. Before I moved down. South, very far south. So saw them play at the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. Cool. Got in free because I knew people.
That's always good to know people, my friend.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So 4th of July plans.
Well, the 4th of July is going to be Saturday, which means it is the eve of the 3rd round of the marble racing, so I'll be excited for that. Mm-hmm. But there's not much to do around it. Just by the way, there was a spoiler alert for everyone who has to watch it. The O'Rangers won the second event, so we've moved from 4th from the bottom all the way to 2nd place. So we're going to one of our best events, which is marble spinning coming up here, endurance spinning, really. Not really that much. I mean, my kids are excited. We have the day off tomorrow, and so we get to do stuff. But everybody's have been shooting off fireworks for no apparent reason over the last month and a half. Like, people were shooting off fireworks at 4 a.m. this morning.
Really?
Yeah, out in the suburbs. So I have no idea what's going on with that. I don't think there are any big fireworks stuff planned. I guess there is stuff at the Boomers Stadium, which is the Schaumburg single A affiliate that we have. I guess they do have some fireworks where you can watch from your car in the parking lot. But I don't know if there's anything else really going on other than just enjoying our time together and not having anything to do for the weekend. How about you?
Well, I guess our sort of festivities have passed indirectly.
True.
Yeah, in terms of, this weekend just, I don't know, whatever the wife tells me I'm doing.
Well, let's see. I know that today is Flag Day in Curacao. So, I mean, I'm hoping you're celebrating that for the Caribbean solidarity down there. But let's see what else is going on the 4th of July. We could celebrate the birthday of Queen Sonia of Norway.
Oh, I've never missed it.
You could celebrate Liberation Day in either the Northern Mariana Islands or Rwanda. You could celebrate Republic Day in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
You can also celebrate the first evening of the Dree Festival, which is celebrated from the 4th to the 7th by the Apatani people in Arunachal Pradesh, India. And there's 8 Catholic feast days. You could choose between Elizabeth of Aragon or Andrew of Crete and Bertha of Artois. That's the one, Bertha of Artois. At least I know how to celebrate that just with a Stella. We'd be all set.
Beat me to it. I was about to jump in with that.
Sorry, I needed to let that breathe to give you room. I apologize.
No, all good. All good. So in our pre-call, we don't have a death to talk about. This is weird.
Yeah, it's weird. We have one, I guess we can mention in passing. The bassist for the Left Bank passed away. And if that doesn't, his name is Tom Finn. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, their biggest hit was 1965, Just Walk Away, Renee. So he passed away at the age of, I think it was 71. Yeah, he was 71. He passed away. But literally that's the basis for a band, a one-hit wonder from the 60s, is about the biggest name that passed away this week, who is not, well over 90 years old and having nothing to do with the Hall of Fame.
So now the song is, I Passed Away, Renee. No?
Wow. You're already going to hell, but, this is going to be on the highlights.
I'm just hoping the bed's...
That's very clever.
I'm just hoping the bed's comfortable. That's all I'm asking now.
Anyway, so so we didn't have any deaths to talk about, and we had a plan, but you came up with a better one.
I did, yeah. So we can sort of we can always go back to the greatest, or which team of the Big Four sort of celebrates their players the best, and we kind of agree, I think, that it's a tie, or maybe you might feel a little bit stronger about the Patriots. I think I do also too, between the Patriots and the Cardinals in baseball. But, there's so much more that we can sort of look at down the road. But this week, or in the next few days, the semi-finalists will be out for both the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame and the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm kind of excited because you're doing this completely blind. You don't even know who any of them are.
I am doing this completely blind. I do want to say one thing before we go into that, though. In going through my research, something I did not know about one of my absolute favorite teams, but my first love team, as everyone knows who follows it all, is the Boston Bruins. Bruins are my first favorite team and everything. They don't have a Hall of Fame at all.
Not one hall. Like
not
nothing?
a hall. There is no hall. They have retired numbers, but the Boston Bruins, who have been around since 1924, so 96 years old, do not have a Hall of Fame. I had no idea.
Well, neither do the Maple Leafs.
And they've been around since, 1917? Or they're the first, or they're the second? No, the Canadians are first, and they're second of the Big Six, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and then the Bruins are third, and then the Red Wings and Blackhawks are tied for fourth, and then the Rangers are, I think, 1926. I think it's 24 for the Bruins, 25 for the other two, and 26 for the Rangers. But anyway, yeah, the Maple Leafs don't have one either. I didn't even get to them. I was just so flabbergasted by the Bruins.
Well, the Maple Leafs have always sort of been behind the curve, especially during the Harold Ballard years of honoring past. So that really wasn't a big surprise for me, learning that. I think I knew that before, but just one of those things you look up again when you know that you're going to be looking at a topic. And I know I was also looking at about how the Orioles have some groundskeepers in theirs.
Wow.
Which I kind of dig.
Rightfully so. I mean, those groundskeepers are probably there for like 40 years.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's a pretty interesting one if we get to that, which could be next week, depending on what sort of happens. So if this one sort of goes a little long, we could sort of like just do the Fictitious Athlete one and the Rock one next week.
Let's go for it. How many semifinalists do we have for each?
Oh, we have a lot.
Okay, so we start with the athlete?
Yeah. So there's 50 of them.
Okay. So let's start with this one and go from there.
All right, so let's start
with that one and go from there.
So this is going to be in no particular order. Just as I'm going to rattle them off and just throw them off at you. I'll start off with this one because I'm in a hockey frame of mind. From Goon, previous semifinalist, Doug the Thug Glatt.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about Goon. I have not seen that.
I mean, it's not bad. It's the only other role that Stifler could do, I think. But beyond that, I mean, because everything else, he's always Stifler.
He's my fraternity brother, Harry. He's a member of the Delta Chi fraternity, so you be nice to him.
I think by referring to him as a limited actor is not exactly the worst thing I could say.
That is true. Yeah, but interesting. So Doug the Thug, huh? Mm-hmm.
And then another hockey one that actually, because through the hall, has gotten me a Twitter follower of the Hamilton Mustangs, 1986 team, Dean Youngblood.
Oh, okay. That was a little bit closer. Go with your Dean Youngblood stuff first.
Well, Youngblood, actually, for me, watching that film, because it was shot in Hamilton.
Okay.
And I grew up in Burlington, which is the town right next to it. So, all of that area, I know it from inside out, looking at all of that stuff. I'll say this much though: the Hamilton the Mustangs there got a lot more press than any actual OHL team that they ever did have, because every OHL team there always folded.
Mm. Yeah, well, I mean, they had Rob Lowe playing Dean Youngblood, so
yes.
Why? No OHL team has ever had anyone as popular as Rob Lowe, right?
Well, that's true, and he had Patrick Swayze on the wing. I mean, and Keanu Reeves in goal.
Whoa! I just can imagine that. I imagine every time the puck went by, I was like, whoa. So it's funny. Keanu Reeves is now kind of settled into the beloved Hollywood weirdo role.
It's so true. And also, he's also one of those guys that the left don't want to cancel.
True, but what would they be canceling him for? Is there something I have forgotten?
Well, no. I didn't. No, I wasn't implying that. He's just one of those guys because it came up like on Twitter. They were showing a whole bunch of this. I saw this a few months ago, where they kind of noticed that when Keanu Reeves is taking a picture with a fan, a female fan, he always keeps his hands up so you can see that he's not actually touching the fan.
That makes sense.
And his girlfriend is age appropriate.
He's just not a germaphobe like Harvey or what's his
Howie
name?
Mandel, another Canadian.
Howie Mandel.
You know what? I don't know. That could be. He could be half germaphobe, half gentleman. But yeah, I was going to come up with the third half, but I got nothing.
He's very large.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So, that's actually a great segue to another one here, and his co-star that we just mentioned. Semi-finalist number 3 from Point Break, Bodhi.
Bodhi. That movie is fantastic.
And we're not referring to the remake that never needed to be done.
Yeah. There's certain movies they're talking about redoing The Princess Bride.
I saw
and
that.
And to which I say there's a shortage of perfect movies. Why ruin this one?
Have they cast anybody for this?
Yeah, it's basically fallen apart due to public demand.
Good.
But yeah,
Like, who are you going to cast in the Andre the Giant role?
That was an attempt at a joke from one of the lines, and you missed it, but that's okay.
Oh.
I said there's a shortage of perfect movies in the world, so it would be a shame to ruin this one. Referring to when she's about to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. There was a joke. Today's actually the 40th anniversary of the release of Airplane.
Surely you can't be serious.
Online, well, they had online, like, the Airplanes came out 40 years today. What's his most iconic joke? Or what's the most iconic joke? And someone put, it's the joke that lasts the longest, but that's not important right now. Or it's the most enduring and not important like that. And I'm like, that is fantastic. That is the correct answer to that question. But back to Bodhi. Yeah, I mean, Point Break is, I don't know what to say about Point Break other than it's fantastic. And Bodhi is someone who has to be a serious competitor. Although, how far has Bodhi gone before?
He's been a semifinalist before, never made it to the finals.
Ooh, I haven't really focused on him. He may be someone I will see if I can vote at least into the finalist pool. Get him under some consideration.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, why not? So let's see. How do I segue this perfectly? Okay, I got
Snake Plissken.
No, he did not make it. Well, you know what? I'll stick with. I'm just going to go in a completely different direction and go to everyone's favorite office linebacker, Terry Tate.
Oh yes, Terry Tate's reign was short but impressive.
Yeah, a semifinalist again, so pretty happy to see that. And also, too, he is a follower on Twitter. I think he'll sort of like that. Which
excellent.
Yeah. Although that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get in because Blue Mountain State did not who has had semifinalists before, does not this year. One of my favorite bad TV shows.
Blue Mountain State?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's not a very realistic football TV show, just sort of like teen comedy, and I'm way too old to be watching it, but I watch it anyway.
Well, I mean, if it was realistic, it wouldn't be a football TV show.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, how many comebacks in the last 5 seconds can you have in Friday Night Lights?
Which is another one that got no representation this year.
That's odd.
It is, but I can't for the life of me figure this out. Like why some things that seem so obvious to me don't get the love and some things do. I don't know it. I don't get it. It's just how it is.
But that's also the beauty of this because you and I are both one person voting one time for stuff online. You and I will both vote probably fairly early in this process. But neither of our votes will count any more than the random folks who show up online just to vote for this.
No, exactly. And we do get quite a bit of comments on certain things, but not on the fictitious. So I really don't know how people are thinking.
Interesting. So, by the way, before we go too much further into this, why don't we back up a second? For those who are uninitiated to the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Why don't you explain to them exactly what the criteria are and who has been inducted? Can you do that?
Yeah, for sure. All right. So pretty much the criteria is pretty simple. Be a fictitious athlete. So if it's a movie about... okay, so let's use Will Smith's film Ali. So that's not going to count. Because it's about Muhammad Ali. He was real. Now, then you get to the gray area of Cool Runnings, where there was a Jamaican bobsled team in 1988, but not one of them was named Sanka Coffee. Just like 4 regular names, and they just came up with all this weird-ass stuff. I don't know why, but I guess they thought it was a great idea. There is no time limit, so pretty much as soon as a film or a TV show comes out, if it's one that we think of, it goes up. It started in 2013, and this was the only time where I said where it's going to have like it's going to have a dedicated first inductee because I didn't want the votes to come out any other way. I was selfish, but I stand by it. Rocky Balboa got in 2013. because that was the only right thing to do. And then everything beyond that went to the public. First Class, 2014, Crash Davis, Ricky the Wild Thing Vaughn, Roy Hobbs of The Natural.
3 baseballs.
Yes, it was a baseball sweep. 2015, Happy Gilmore, so the first golfer. And then Slapshot put in Reggie Dunlop and the Hanson brothers.
As is correct.
Yeah. Then Apollo Creed went in 2016. Benny the Jet Rodriguez from The Sandlot. And the Mighty Ducks, Charlie Conway.
Mm-hmm. So very hockey, very baseball.
Yes. Yes. Which is sort of interesting considering that most of the people who do vote are from the U.S. I wouldn't think that hockey would be the big thing, but it is for whatever reason.
Slapshot and Mighty Ducks are a big thing. But if you had to ask, what the third biggest hockey movie is, people would be hard pressed unless they go to Mighty Ducks too.
Right.
So.
And Jussie Smollett's character is not part of it. He's not a nominee.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so 2017, Bobby Boucher of the Waterboy, the greatest defensive player in college football history. Forrest Gump, 3-sport athlete, football, ping pong, super long distance endurance running. And Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah. Another back to baseball again. But we finally get 2 football going in here, and Willie Mays Hayes from I don't know if where does Major League rate in your favorite baseball movies of all time?
The first one would be my top 5.
Okay. Yeah, and the second one didn't exist, like most second sports movies. So,
although it was so much better than Major League 3, Back to the Minors.
Major League 3, the Police Academy 5 of the series.
Also shot in Toronto. I always love that.
Police Academy 5, but it's shot in Miami, I think, but it could have been Toronto. I don't know.
I always love that scene in the first Police Academy where they're doing. There's for whatever reason it was 1 or 2, and they're on a speedboat, and then all of a sudden there's the CN Tower. Huh. Okay.
I think that happened too in the end of War of the Worlds, where they're going back to Boston. I think the CN Tower is in the background for that too.
Or in Rumble in the Bronx, which is, I guess, in the Bronx, and then in one of the final scenes on the water, like there's the mountains of British Columbia in the background.
Yeah,
but whatever. So 2018, Daniel LaRusso, Karate Kid. I know that was one you were big on him.
Yeah, I was surprised it took him that long because Mr. Miyagi had gotten in as a
contributor almost right away.
Very, very early on.
Yeah. Dottie Hinson, to date the only female in for A League of Their Own, and I think riding a wave of nostalgia. Shortly after his passing, Burt Reynolds' character of Paul Wrecking Crew got in.
Yeah, that was first of all, Dottie Hinson should have been the first woman in, which is a good job by everybody. Mm-hmm. Paul Wrecking Crew, with him passing and everything, but that was someone who. I'd imagine they were finalists several times. Or Paul Crew was a finalist several times, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah. So, I mean, that probably helped push you over the top, just like any Hall of Fame. But that was somebody to be considered quite a few times.
Yeah, and then with 2019, it was really weird. Clubber Lang and Ivan Drago get in.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Rocky still.
Mm-hmm. So who would have won between Clubber and Ivan Drago?
America. No.
No, just stop there. You're not going to have a better answer.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would have been a hell of a fight. We never got to see it.
I pity the fool. I must break you. I pity the fool.
Use a machine.
And
all right, who else you got?
And then the last one was Fast Eddie of The Hustler.
Fast Eddie Pedersen of The Hustler, yeah. All right, cool. All right, now that we've done that, we can get back to this just to give some people some background.
Yeah, no, I should have done that from the start, but that's why you're here on a regular basis. You always correct my mistakes, and I make a lot of them.
Also, I'm affordable.
I'm sorry?
I said also I'm affordable.
Well, that's also true.
All right, what else we got?
What else we got? Okay, let me bring back that window up. So, sticking with some of the ones that we kind of covered because they're not too far off. So actually, for Major League, we have two more.
Okay.
Actually, three. Someone who's been a semifinalist a couple times, never a finalist, Jake Taylor, who laid down that perfect bunt.
Mm-hmm.
First time semifinalist, a bit of a surprise, the master of the spitball, Eddie Harris.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised on that one, but hey, that's how it goes. I think sometimes people don't scroll all the way down, which might be why there's a lot of A's, B's, and C's.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the things I've thought about when we come to our other hall that we've been thinking about. It's
crossed my mind also, yes. And Pedro Serrano, who seems to be building up quite a bit of steam. And why not? The guy became president of the United States.
Yes, and also, that Pedro Serrano is clearly the biggest of them. Although Jake Taylor, played by Tom Berenger, is another good candidate for the Hall. Although I would put Pedro in first. I do have to say that scene though at the pitcher's mound, where they had to. He asked I can't remember the actor's name. Went up and asked what all the trouble was.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole thing about candlesticks, that whole scene, I don't know if you know, that whole thing was improvised.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that whole scene, they just sent him out there to go talk to the pitcher, and they were told just to talk about something. And he had no idea. And by the way, Kevin Costner, another Delta guy, another fraternity brother, and Ashton Kutcher. But Kevin Costner just came up with that line, and he just had to react to everything. And he's like, Candlesticks making a good gift. We'll figure out where they're registered and get him some. All right, go get out there.
Wait a minute. So, in Major League?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bull Durham. I apologize. It's Bull Durham. Right? That's the one where I have Kevin Costner. I have the wrong freaking movie. I apologize.
But you segue to Billy Chapel, Kevin Costner.
Oh, well, there we go. All right. Well, then I knew what I was talking about without knowing what I was talking about. So the scene in the scene in Bull Durham. We're not kidding. Sorry about that.
Oh, please.
It's only Thursday and it's already been a long week.
Well, at least it's 4 days deep.
True. Just by the way, my neighbors diagonally across the street just lit off a whole bunch of fireworks. So I don't know if you can hear them in the background.
No, I can't. But amazingly, the whistling frogs here are being quiet. So hopefully we don't hear them in the background.
Wow. All right. So who else we got?
Well, I'll stick with Costner because Tin Cup returns, Roy McAvoy.
Yeah. That movie is far better than it should be.
Well, considering who's in it.
Yeah, I went to that movie in college, I think, with some friends just because we had nothing else to do. We're like, oh, what the hell? We'll go see Tin Cup. And I thought that movie was significantly better than I thought it was going to be going in. So.
Yeah, I generally don't think of Cheech in a high role without Chong, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
Cheech has made some very interesting choices post Cheech and Chong.
I mean, to be fair, not the biggest looker in Hollywood. Probably a little typecast. So anything he can get that's out of that's available to him is maybe something he has to grab.
That very well could be. All right, so let's see. What's a good segue? Let's stick on the diamond here. Kenny Powers is back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that surprised me. I'm surprised that he's been a finalist a couple times now, right?
He has, yeah. It's one of those ones that I thought was going to get in early, and I don't know why. Maybe because you don't see it on reruns too often.
It may have also been there were just too many people from Rocky still out there to put in the Hall. But yeah, Kenny Powers is somebody who I expect to be joining the Hall fairly quickly, just off of that. That's a character who is more loved, I swear, than the show that he's on. if that makes sense. I feel like more people relate to Kenny Powers than have actually seen Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, I'd see that. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So, baseball-wise, from one of my favorite series of films, we got 2 Bad News Bears.
Okay.
Both returning semifinalists, Kelly Leak,
Amanda Wurlitzer,
and Amanda Wurlitzer.
Yeah, one of those has to get in. Amanda Wurlitzer is the only other woman or female athlete I would have taken as okay to put in before Dottie Hinson.
Really?
But yeah, those folks are both going to be getting in some point in the next 5 years, depending on how many people you allow in on a given year.
It's usually 3. That's not going to change it this year.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
because I know a few years ago with our Fictitious Rock, you're like, yeah, 2's good this year.
Right? Yeah. No, this one's is a fixed 3.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Kelly Leak is one of my personal favorites. Although, sort of like when you watch all the series back and forth, like it's kind of interesting how he sort of peaked and then everyone became sort of taller than him.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a certain point where, again, just stop making reruns of the same sort of movies.
Mm-hmm.
So they just all sorts of things you don't think about end up making them less enjoyable than they would have been otherwise. So.
Well, I try not to think about it, especially when you watch Bad News Bears #2 and the batting order makes no sense.
Yeah, that has been one of your pet peeves.
Yes, it is. It is, because he changes it mid, and I don't, whatever. Okay. And
here's something you need to know about sports movies.
They're not real.
They're written by people who don't watch sports.
Mm-hmm. No, I know. But I'll never learn.
But, yeah, I mean, you're not having vast majority of these movies written by people who actually cover sports for a living. They're written by people who are trying to make a movie that sells, and a movie that sells doesn't care about your batting order.
True. No, very, very true. Semi-finalist again. Someone, if you look at fictional history, is probably one of the greatest hoaxes ever done. From Sports Illustrated, Sid Finch.
Yeah, Sid Finch would be awesome. I just don't think enough people know who he is at this point. But Sid Finch is... Do you want to explain Sid Finch to those who are unaware?
Yeah. I'll sort of then just jump in if I'm not sort of doing this right, because I haven't really reread that article in a long time. But I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it. But he was working for Sports Illustrated back when that magazine really meant something. And it was an April Fool's joke about this pitcher with these giant feet, which allowed him to have this great plant, and so that he could throw at, I forget what miles per hour they were saying, so something completely absurd.
168.
Was it 168? Okay, that's what whenever I was sitting in my head, I thought
it was written by George. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, George Plumpton.
Yeah, George Plumpton.
Okay. Yeah, so he could throw at 168, and and the Mets were coveting him. Mm-hmm. And some people picked up on it right away that it was April 1st, that's an April Fool's joke, because everything about it was so completely absurd. And this pitcher didn't even really care about baseball so much; he'd just rather hang out in the beach or something.
Mm-hmm.
And a whole lot of people were then trying to contact the Mets organization, waiting for this. It's like, why aren't you calling him up?
Plus, a picture of him made it. It was like. If you can imagine, for those who haven't seen it, if you can imagine a picture in a magazine of a potential prospect that somehow still looked like a Bigfoot photograph, all grainy and like you're not exactly sure what's going on, that's the picture they used for Sid Finch.
Mm-hmm. He kind of looks like Syndergaard.
Oh, I guess he probably does.
Just from sort of like the back end, because he had the flowing hair, and then I could just imagine Syndergaard's feet being that big, and I know there's a lot of jokes there, and I'm just leaving it at that. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. I know that's really...
The bigger the feet, the bigger the cleats.
Nice, yeah.
That's what they say, I'm pretty sure.
So, that one is one I've always voted for, but it's never tracked that deep. I don't expect it will again. But you never know. Yeah,
there are too many big movie names, I think, still left out there before we can get to that.
Right. But yeah, that's something that was definitely worth talking. And I think, like you said, I think a lot of people just don't even know of his existence, and they should.
I mean, it's a story from 1985, which is now 35 years ago. So there's going to be a lot of people who were either too young or not around when that came out. So
85. Okay, why did I think it was before that? I can just imagine. Dwight Gooden thinking like, "I'm not the ace anymore."
Dwight Gooden wasn't thinking in 85.
Well, he was thinking. It just might have been where his next fix was.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Dwight Gooden, the poster child for people who snorted their way out of the Hall of Fame. In that category, Keith Hernandez, Darryl Strawberry, and Dave Parker.
Mm-hmm. There are others. I mean, Roy Tarpley, hell, Len Bias even got a shot.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
So.
Len Bias, my God. One of the biggest what-ifs in sports.
I mean, absolute stud. Like, for people who don't remember who Len Bias was, absolute stud at Maryland. I think the best player. Mm-hmm. And the Celtics, in the midst of their championship runs with Bird and McHale and everything, end up with the second pick in the draft because other general managers are idiots. And they draft Bias, and then he's dead within 24 hours after celebrating by snorting cocaine. He had bad cocaine and it killed him.
And there's nothing more 80s than that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. So I guess sticking with baseball, I've got a couple more.
There's a lot of baseball in this group.
Yeah. I'm going all over the place from my notes. I didn't really plan how I wanted to do it. I didn't want to go alphabetical, though. I knew that much. I figured we'd just let the flow go. A former Rookie of the Year, Henry Rowengartner, former Cub.
Yes. Back when that was the thing about baseball movies. They kept being made about the absolute worst teams. Angels in the outfield, the Major League about the Indians, and the Rookie of the Year being from the Cubs. Yes, Rookie of the Year, terrible injury that made his career, and another terrible injury that took him out of it.
Mm-hmm. And he would later be seen giving pleasure to Tara Reid before her nasty stomach injury. American Pie?
Yeah, I didn't realize that's the same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, but it is. And one
that's an interesting Sports Illustrated. Where are they now? Sorry, continue.
And two more baseball guys. One who's actually already technically in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Homer Simpson. Because the Homer at the Bat episode is featured in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Fantastic episode. I watched it again, 2 or 3 weeks ago on Disney Plus. So
let's see if I can remember the lineup here without looking.
Oh, man.
All right, Clemens was the pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Griffey was in the outfield with Canseco and Strawberry?
Yes. Strawberry, Canseco, and Griffey are the outfielders, correct.
Mattingly at first, Steve Sachs at second, Mike Scioscia at catcher because he came back as himself as a manager.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Who the hell was it? Ozzie Smith at short. I don't remember who was at third.
It's the one I always remember, Wade Boggs.
Oh, of course. Okay. Which
Mr.
then
Chicken and Beer himself.
Well, then someone who would have been his teammate and visited this bar, Sam Malone, is back.
Sam Malone is back. Nice. Excellent. Well, that was an excellent segue, my friend.
I'm getting better at this. He challenged me last time, and I was really, really weak at it.
Getting better. So. Yeah, Sam Malone, of course, is a favorite son of Boston. And Ted Danson, here's a question for you. Is Ted Danson the greatest all-time sitcom actor?
Ooh.
Because he's been in a lot of them, and they've all done pretty well. I mean, The Good Place was just fantastic. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
No, I never saw it. I mean, it's on Netflix. I should get to it.
You should watch it. That is a perfect. Like it went 4 seasons and ended. You wanted more, but you're like, no, they did a good job. They were in. They told their story. They were out, and it was good the whole way through. There's Becker, of course. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I always liked Becker. I don't know if you ever watched that one.
No, I never watched that one. No.
All right. Well, something to think about. I don't know if there's anyone else who comes to mind who's been so consistently good in so many things. But he may be the greatest sitcom actor we've ever had.
Could very well. As long as I never have to watch 3 Men and a Baby again.
Oh, come on. How about 3 Men and a Little Lady? Is that better?
Oh, yeah, much better. Fantastic film. My God.
And, of course, he also spent 4 years on CSI, so...
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he replaced Gil Grissom when he ended up leaving.
Oh, okay. I stopped watching around there. I think what turned me off of that show completely is my wife and I went to the CSI exit, the thing in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so she wanted to do that. We did that. It's like then they give you homework, try and figure out what happened in a fake crime scene. It's like, what the hell? Like, what? I paid $30 to do homework? Screw this. Awful. Hated it.
The Spy Museum in D.C. sort of does the same thing, but it's a little bit more exciting, I think.
It can't be worse.
Oh, believe me, everything can always be worse.
Very true. Very true. So I don't have a good segue out of baseball, so I'm just going to go right to a few other people. Just throw them out there, see what you think. Getting, I think, momentum. This will work from a fellow Bostonian, Mark Wahlberg. Flash Gordon, former New York Jet.
Not one of my first roles I always think of with him. Yeah, plus he played a Jet, so I mean that almost needs to take away your card, the Boston card, if you do that.
Yeah, so he's gaining momentum. Was never a semi-finalist until the last couple of years.
Interesting. Okay.
One player from the West Canaan Coyotes, and it's not John Moxon. It's Billy Bob. The offensive lineman. Varsity Blues.
I was going to say that's Varsity Blues. Sorry. I mean, you gave me no time to prepare, so I'm trying to remember who all the characters out of all these folks are off the top of my head. Yeah, it's Varsity Blues. Okay. That is actually one I have not seen.
Yeah, so
I don't have much to say.
Oh, you got to watch that one.
Yeah, no, it's been on my list. I just haven't seen it. Actually, with my wife tends to go to bed fairly early, and I've been watching movies that I've always wanted to see and haven't seen. I watched the 3-hour Great Escape from 1962 the other day, with basically everybody in it, and that's another one on my list. I watched both Saints actually, some of the TV show and the remake of the movie with oh my God, what's his name? Val Kilmer playing the role of Simon Templar. So I'm filling him in as we go. That Varsity Blues should be another one because that's the one she's never going to watch. So
it's one of my favorite football films. Again, not exactly that realistic, but whatever. It's a hell of a lot of fun and sort of like a must watch for every sports fan, I think.
Yeah, well, again, realistic, not good Hollywood movie.
Well, that's true. All I have to do is watch Necessary Roughness again.
The Last Boy Scout.
Both of which have never made the semifinals. But you can vote for them, but no one ever does.
Is the Last Boy Scouts one? I'm trying to remember. I have the first scene. Is that the one where he's running down the field, the running back, and just starts shooting the other team's players?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right up there with Any Given Sunday, which another one that gets no love. I don't get it.
I don't get that either.
Yeah, like no love. I mean, it's another one of those films that there's never been an eye saw or like an eyeball in the field. or anything like that. I think everyone's seen Any Given Sunday. Just an all-star cast. Jamie Foxx is incredible in that. It's one of my favorite roles that he's ever done. I just love him as Steamin' Willie Beeman. Not a semifinalist this year. People, what's the matter with you?
Too far down the list, man.
You know what? I think you're right.
Yeah, it's alphabetism. There's a study. There was a study once that people whose last names are A through K are much more likely to be in politics and business leaders, and people whose last names are N through Z are much more likely to be artists and things along those lines.
And you know what?
And acting.
Higher letters matter. I was going to say all letters matter, but that seems racist.
All letters don't matter. We can get rid of J.
Poor letter J. Which gives us...
As we learned from Indiana Jones, the last letter to join the alphabet.
And X doesn't always mark the spot.
And X does not always mark the spot. Do you know what the 27th letter of the English alphabet was and that got dropped?
No.
The ampersand.
That was actually a letter?
It was. Ampersand is actually contraction of the words and, per se, and. Meaning like it was the last letter and it was a symbol meaning and. So it was and, per se, and at the end of the alphabet. And that became ampersand. And they dropped it. But it used to be a letter.
You know, come for the sports, and then you get to learn about the American language. I mean, like, what's better than this?
Yeah, I mean, I wish it had come up when I was on Jeopardy, but that was only I should say.
I forget I'm talking to a television star.
Oh yes, I am. I've been on TV now 3 times. So
you got me beat
once
by
on the news,
2.
Once on Jeopardy, and once on Evening Magazine, which was a local show in Boston that went around to different places and, you know, did stories locally about New England.
Well, Nolan 3, Buchner 1. But there's still time.
My wife was a contestant on a very short-lived Nickelodeon game show called Take That. I believe there was only 3 episodes. But she was a contestant on that when she was like 8. She had a side ponytail and like huge Coke bottle-sized glasses. It's kind of hilarious to watch.
I'm sure she's really happy you're bringing this up then.
They had to do this obstacle course, and at the end, my wife refuses to cheat on anything. And at the end, they gave them like this massive wad of bubble gum. They had to choose, blow a bubble, and stick it underneath the chair. The girl who won just chewed it and just stuck it under the chair without blowing the bubble. And the show ends with my poor wife in her Coke bottle glasses in the side ponytail still chewing as the credits are rolling in the chair. So
nice. I realized I forgot one baseball player.
Oh, well, I mean, that's only like seriously, you have 50. Baseball's got to have like 12 to 15 of them, right?
I didn't count them, but yeah, it seems like a lot. But yeah,
it seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, one more. Dottie Hinson's teammate, always a semifinalist, never a finalist. All the way May.
All the way May. I was wondering if she was there. All the way May and Smalls from the Sandlot were the 2 I was wondering, or Ham from the Sandlot.
No one from the Sandlot, which is weird too.
Yeah,
because Hamilton Porter.
I was wondering if they were there, and I was a little surprised we hadn't gotten to, particularly when we got to the 3rd guy from Major League. So.
Me too. Hamilton Porter's been he's been a semifinalist before, so that was a little bit surprising. But yeah, hey, that's how the votes go.
I vote for Hamilton Porter every year. So as I said, our votes count for just 1.
Nice. So yeah, would you agree that was Madonna's only role where she didn't suck in acting?
I never saw Evita, so I can't say anything about that.
I sadly
didn't hate her. I didn't hate her in Dick Tracy. Breathless Mahoney.
I'd have to rewatch that again. I saw it once and yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hate her in that, but yeah, I don't know if I've ever really contemplated the acting career of Madonna. I do have to say she was terrible pretending to believe in the Kabbalah, and her accent in the late 2000s was just not believable. when all of a sudden she had a British accent out of nowhere for a while.
But
you're from New Jersey.
Yeah, but her son, brought racial harmony with his dance.
That is true. Well, I thought that was. Oh no, I guess that was not Chloe, one of the Kardashians who handed the Coke to the police, or the Pepsi to the police. I thought that was taking care of that, but I guess not.
Yeah. My sad contribution to that is actually it sort of fits for Canada Day and then all racial harmony. When I told people I was moving from Canada to Barbados, I thought, okay, I'm going to come up with the most obscure impression to sort of meld the two countries together. Have I ever done Gordon Lightfoot singing Rihanna?
No, and I think the world needs to hear it, because Gordon Lightfoot is a national treasure of yours, and Rihanna is a national treasure of the world. So I'd like to hear this.
Okay. So, in the vein of Madonna's adopted son, bringing worlds together. Okay. Now, you also have to visualize. I'm pretending I've got a guitar in my hand here, so I'll do this. So it's Gordon
Lightfoot, so it's automatic. So go ahead.
All right. So Lightfoot singing "Pon de Replay."
Okay,
here we go. Hey, Mr. DJ, now put it on replay. You seem like a very nice fellow. How about another song about that young man, the one named Elvis Costello? That may not be the right words, but I think it's perfect.
That was very Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald of you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's the most nonsensical one that I will do. I do that for people. They'll all laugh, and then most people usually they'll ask me, "Who's Gordon Lightfoot?"
My kids definitely know who Gordon Lightfoot is. Sundown and If You Could Read My Mind, Love. Yeah, I'm a big Gordon Lightfoot guy. He's someone who never seems to get any attention for the whole.
No.
And they have that one singer-songwriter spot, which seems to be taken by, I can't think of his name right now. He's been up the last 2 years. I wasn't mentally prepared for it. But anyway, they only ever have one person there, and they stick with him until they get in. And there are just so many of them. Like, we haven't even seen Warren Zevon yet.
Never been a finalist. One of the strangest things ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know how to sort of segue from Gordon Lightfoot, but I'll try. I hear that Gordon Lightfoot's favorite animal is Bud.
Well, I mean, it's also his favorite beer, I think. So he's a traitor to Canada that way. Bud is the most sport athlete on this whole list.
Mm-hmm. Never seen one of the movies though.
I saw Air Bud once when I was babysitting my nephews years ago. So we watched that once. That's the only one I have seen though.
So we got sort of in that vein, and this might get a little bit more. Like, as I guess when the LeBron James version comes out, Bugs Bunny is back for his basketball acumen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another one, though. It's not just basketball at Bugs. You put a multi-sport Goofy, remember, last year, who got in from the old-timers category.
Yep.
But Bugs is a multi-sport athlete, too. One of my favorite cartoons from a kid is where he played pitcher-catcher in every position on the field when he played the major league team. He threw the ball. The guy swung 3 times, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out, caught it, and went back. So Bugs is a natural athlete. I approve of him being a semi-finalist. I think he'll probably make it to the finals as well.
Well, he hasn't yet, but it's certainly a possibility. And this isn't quite another cartoon. Oh no, this is. I have another cartoon character. I believe the only auto racer, Lightning McQueen from Cars.
Interesting. Now, Lightning McQueen has what now? 3 movies, so clearly a Pixar favorite, if not necessarily a fan favorite.
Yeah. And a shout out to Ted the Webmaster, because I missed Lightning McQueen as a nominee, and he had me put him up there. As with Sport Goofy, I missed that one completely. So the first year he was a nominee for the Veterans category, he got in.
Mm-hmm. And now is this Lightning McQueen's first time in the main category?
This was 3 years now, and all 3 years he's been a semifinalist.
Yeah, I don't think he's made the finals yet. I don't remember seeing him there.
He hasn't.
Yeah. But yeah, Lightning McQueen's as good as any Disney or Pixar character you could come up with at this point, right?
I would think so, yeah. Is Wreck-It Ralph Pixar?
I'm sorry?
Wreck-It Ralph, is that Pixar?
Yes, that is a Pixar.
So I guess what's the name of the series?
Penelope von Schweetz or Vanellope von Schweetz.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even think I got her as a nominee, or the preliminary nominee. So I've got to fix that.
Put her next time, and King Candy should go there too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's actually one of my favorite Pixar films.
It's a really good film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, my favorite Pixar film, without a doubt. I still love it. And actually, I'm wearing the T-shirt right now, believe it or not, is WALL-E. I'm still a big WALL-E guy. I have a WALL-E T-shirt on right now as we speak. But yeah, that's... and I always love Big Hero 6 as well. Wait, that's not Pixar, though. I don't remember. That's the problem. I don't remember the DreamWorks of Pixar. Is Big Hero 6 Pixar?
No idea. You got the kids, so you're more in tune to this stuff than I am.
Yeah, well, another one. Have you seen Coco?
No, but I know I should.
That one's super good. Yeah, that one is a super good movie. Big Hero 6 is Walt Disney. It's Walt Disney Animation Studios, not actually Pixar. But yeah, so it's a Disney film.
So I'm going to venture out of this to the mixed martial arts world.
Ooh.
Or just martial arts and fight in general. So one of the weirdest candidates to me, but is always a semifinalist, from Enter the Dragon, Lee.
Yeah, it's Bruce Lee.
It's Bruce Lee in the world's worst organized contest of anything. I don't care what the sport is. It made absolutely no sense. Speaking like movies that make no sense. Enter the Dragon, I love it. I watch it over and over and over, and that film has no logic to it. Zero.
It has logic. It has Bruce Lee.
Okay, they're going for a term. You don't even know who won the damn tournament. They never even finished it.
All right. Details, my friend.
My favorite thing also, too, like right at the beginning, they're saying, okay, we need to send someone there. So and then Bruce Lee, and this is, well, why don't you just send someone in there with a gun and then just bang, take care of this guy? And then the British guy says, no guns. And Bruce Lee, okay, fine. they just leave it. Like this was there you go. There's Bruce saying this great logic. It makes sense. Let's just get rid of him. You take care of it like that. You don't even know what the hell he's selling.
Well, they had to have that tournament.
Yeah.
Just as a weird digression, this week on Twitter, someone put up Springsteen Wayne, who's the third greatest Lee of all time? And I was like, Bruce. Oh, so who's the third greatest Bruce of all time?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Springsteen Wayne. I'm like, Bruce Lee's number one. What are we doing? He's not the third. But, and some other people come with like Box Lightner. Like, that's a competition.
The Scarecrow.
Yeah. Or the shark from Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was his name.
Mm-hmm. Fish are friends, not food.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So, first ever semifinalist from Vision Quest, Brian Shute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Vision Quest in forever.
I I'm sure I saw it. I can't remember. I know I've seen the video of that Madonna song like over and over because, crazy for you. But I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm pretty sure in college. Well, probably not entirely sober. So I
kind of like how I do these shows.
Remember that much about. Sorry, what'd you say?
Kind of like how I do these shows.
Yes, well, you did like 7 or 8 in a row without having anything. So.
That's true, and I think I can do it the other way now, 7 or 8 in a row while doing something.
Fair enough.
So, sticking with martial arts, someone you know very well, Johnny Lawrence.
Sweet the leg, the true hero of Karate Kid.
Whoa! How is he the true hero?
Oh, that's the. I don't know if you ever watched How I Met Your Mother, William Zabka, but that Barney has always said that the Karate Kid is the worst movie because the bad guys win. But there's a whole theory about how he uses an illegal move in this match to defeat Johnny Lawrence, and that the whole thing was completely and utterly rigged in favor of a good story, and that it should all be thrown out.
Well, the crane kick is illegal?
It is.
Well, no, not
technically.
But
anyway, so William Zabka was on several episodes of How I Met Your Mother, in particular the last season, and his comeback actually is what led to the reboot of the Karate Kid on Netflix.
I mean, on YouTube.
On YouTube, I'm sorry. Yes, YouTube. Yeah, the Karate Kid series, though. But Zabka wanted nothing to do with it, and How I Met Your Mother brought him back, and after that, they got into negotiations and decided to do that. So I'm all in favor of Joey Lawrence. Not Joey Lawrence.
Whoa!
Sorry, wrong one. But I'm all in favor.
Yeah, all right, I was going to do another mixed martial arts, but I think I'm going to segue to something else and then go back to it, because Zabka was in another film that brought us another semi-finalist. Who might that be?
First of all, I want to point out, if you can make a segue with Zabka, you're required to. I'm trying to remember the acting career of Billy Zabka. I don't know.
All right, so it wasn't from European Vacation. It was from Back to School.
Oh.
Where he was a diver. I don't remember his character's name. I think it was Chaz. But Thornton Mellon, the world's greatest diver, is a semi-finalist.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he did the triple Lindy.
Finally get some respect. This has got to be a first time for him, right?
Yes, first time.
Wow. It's another movie I haven't seen in a long time.
Featuring Robert Downey Jr. as the geek.
That is true. And Kurt Vonnegut as himself.
And another thing, Vonnegut. You're bear. All right, so back to mixed or wrestling in general. So amateur wrestler and perennial semi-finalist but never a finalist, A.C. Slater is back.
Yeah, preppy. He deserves to be there.
The only one who could do the curly mullet.
Yeah, it's hard to pull off the Jew-fro as a Latino, but he manages.
He manages brilliantly. I don't know why anyone would pick Zach Morris over A.C. Slater, frankly. Especially if you've watched that Funny or Die bit, Zach Morris is trash.
Although I think I brought this up before with you on the podcast. Zach Morris is the greatest superpower of anybody anywhere.
I don't think that's come up, but okay. Let's see if I can guess where this is going. He has the ability to stop time.
Yep. Okay. He has the ability to stop time, sit and think about what he's going to do, and then respond. Just imagine how much trouble you could keep yourself out of if you could just stop time, consider what you had to do, and then go from there.
But he's always in trouble.
Well, I'm not saying he's good at it. I'm just saying he has the best superpower. He just doesn't know how to use it because he's Zach Morris.
Also, there's no way that any of those people would be friends with Screech.
Yeah, probably true.
And as it turned out, none of them in real life were.
Well, Dustin Diamond, man born with porn name.
Didn't he do a porn movie too?
He very well may have. I think he was a celebrity boxing thing too, wasn't he?
That, yes, I know for sure. Now, I can't believe this is something I never thought I'd type. Dustin Diamond, porno. Let's see. Celebrity sex tape. On Pornhub, celebrity sex tape, Dustin Diamond, in parentheses, Screech, fucks bride in... Okay, that's enough of that.
There we go.
That's actually
Thank you. The real question was it on a pool table?
I hate you. And I hate me for sort of bringing that up.
You can cut that line. Just don't worry about it.
No, I'm going to leave it there. I'll leave it there because it's way too much work editing. All right, so we got a pro wrestler in here. The role that he was born to play after he completely screwed over his face. Randy the Ram Robinson.
Yeah, that's... wait, you said he's the only wrestler on here?
Pro wrestler.
Oh, okay. All right, because there's another wrestler I'm expecting to see here.
Who's that?
But I figure Nacho Libre is going to be coming.
Oh, sorry. Yep, you're right. Ignacio's in there.
Okay. Now, Randy the Ram Robinson, a serious contender to get in, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'd say over Nacho Libre, too.
I agree. That movie is incredible. And some of the most deep pathos in any sports movie ever. If he's not in this year, I can't imagine he's more in 2 or 3. Well, then again, it's the whims of voters. Who knows?
Yeah, and he's never been a finalist.
Someone I would put at the top of the list from what you've said so far.
The funny thing is, like, we talked too about like how sports movies are not realistic. This is like one movie that is so realistic. I mean, like a lot of the pro wrestlers, Mankind, Mick Foley, said that often. Just how some of those scenes there are just like spot on.
Mm-hmm.
So, how weird is it that the pro wrestling movie is the one that's the most realistic?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, wrestling's already pre-written, so they're used to it.
Yeah, I suppose so. And, I got one more sort of, I guess this counts as mixed martial arts in a way. The first time semi-finalist. One of my favorite actors of all time, Clint Eastwood as Philo Beddoe.
Wow.
Bare knuckle boxing.
Talk a little bit about that one. Talk a little bit about that one.
Well, bare knuckle boxer, Every Which Way But Loose, and then the sequel, Any Which Way But Can. And I remember as a kid, because I started one of the few things I could bond with my dad over because he wasn't a sports guy or anything like that. But Eastwood, I just love Eastwood, and maybe that's sort of a guy thing of a certain age. I think I'm maybe the last generation to sort of like really get into Clint that way. So I was on a Clint kick. So like one of the posters I had, and I don't know we talked about like the Confederate flag, which I'm sorry, but I think we explained that relatively well. Canadian ignorance, right? Dukes of Hazzard love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So I had a movie poster of Outlaw Josie Wales.
Okay.
So Eastwood for me, like I've watched everything he's done over and over. Not so much lately, over the last 10 years, but like that was sort of like a big deal for me. But one of the things I remember asking my dad just, why is he always with that unattractive blonde? He could do so much better. And that being Sandra Locke. Because, it's Clint, well, I know this sounds a lot misogynistic, but Sandra Locke wasn't that hot.
He had a type, man. What can I say?
Yeah, he had a type. So then, when my dad sort of gave me this, it's probably not correct German, but I've already sworn on this, and I'm not going to edit it out, so I'll keep running with this. His answer was, "Eine Fusse ist besser als 10 Pferde."
Wait, I didn't hear that. Try that again.
Eine Fusse ist besser als 10 Pferde.
A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush?
Pussy carries more weight than 10 horses.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Didn't get it then. Got it later.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but then going back to what you said, he's got a type.
Mm-hmm.
We all have types.
Well, yeah. Well, she unfortunately has passed away, so she's not here to defend herself, I guess.
Sandra Locke is dead?
Yes, she is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she passed away in 2018, November 3rd, 2018.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm just trying to figure out how. She had bone and breast cancer, but died of a heart attack.
Jesus. Brutal.
Yeah, so she wasn't. Her death wasn't publicized until over a month later.
I missed
it took 6 weeks to come to light.
I missed that completely. I never knew that.
Yeah. So anyway.
Damn. Now I feel bad for saying she wasn't hot. Not really. I don't feel that bad. Moving on.
You could feel my shrug through the phone. How many more we have?
15.
All right, let's go for the one, man.
19, okay. Oh, no, actually, sorry, 19. All right, so we'll rattle them off here. Bowling, Big Earn, Ernie McCracken, Kingpin.
Yeah, of course. Big Earn needs to be there, and he's someone else who's got to be at the top of this list.
Yeah, a multi-time semi-finalist, one-time finalist. So, Kingpin, if you've never seen it, watch Kingpin. It is hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Another multi-time semi-finalist, never finalist, Jeff the Dude Lebowski.
The dude's never been a finalist?
No.
Who votes on this thing?
All of you. All of you.
That's true. Well, I mean, the dude needs to be up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion, man.
No, mine too. Multi-time finalist.
Oh man, you are missing the movie quotes tonight.
No, I know. I got it. I thought you wanted me to speed it up. I misread the cue.
All right, keep going.
Okay. From Dodgeball, Peter LaFleur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Yeah, Peter LaFleur, one of the less likable heroes in a sports movie, really.
Yeah, especially considering that he got his pep talk to sort of do the right thing by Lance Armstrong.
Yeah. He's not the greatest of guys. But the bad guy, Whiteman, was much worse, so.
Mm-hmm. I was seeing this one thing. I forget who tweeted this, because we're talking about like people getting canceled, so or just like people who always have to like not worry about playing themselves because like over the last week, a lot of people who were voicing non-Caucasian characters just like backed off on that. So someone said like Vince Vaughn's safe because he always plays himself.
He always does play himself. There's no question on that.
I think another person who is always safe is Kevin Hart, the Black Vince Vaughn.
Except that it's too. I think Vince Vaughn is 2 Kevin Hart's tall.
Who would win a fight between Vince Vaughn and Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart.
That's what I think.
Not even close.
Okay.
Kevin Hart is Philly tough, man. That dude had to fight and scrap his way all the way through.
Oh, I believe it. Okay. So a few other ones that are semifinalists. The Wolf from Teen Wolf, Scott Howard.
Yeah. Another one who I'm a little surprised is still floating around out there.
Mm-hmm. Shane Falco. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, these are all really, really good choices.
Yep. So returning semifinalists. Falco was a finalist before. Also a previous finalist, Jimmy Chitwood.
Yep. I'm his coach who would rather play with 4 than let him back out on the floor. My team is on the floor. Jimmy Chitwood, that movie is also fantastic, and probably, I mean, I know it's based on a true story, but there are parts of it that you're just like, this can't really be how it worked.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's not like it was. It's not like they changed the names to Sanka Coffee, Yul Brenner. Crap, I'm forgetting the other 2.
I don't remember either.
Junior
Bevel. The only thing about that is, have you ever been to Jamaica?
I have.
And have you ever met anyone from Jamaica, like in the names they give people?
I've seen interesting names, yes.
Yeah, they have a history of giving ridiculous names.
Sure, but that's not the 4 names that actually competed.
Well, that's true, but yeah. And
there was no fat white guy who cheated the Americans out of a gold medal in 1960 as their coach. That didn't happen.
But it's John Candy.
Well, that's true. And I love John Candy. What Canadian doesn't?
John Candy is the true hero of Canada as far as Americans are concerned.
As far as Americans are concerned, that's our best Canadian, really?
Well, Pamela Anderson exists. So. For guys, anyway.
I guess.
I was kidding. I was just trying to think of another Canadian. She's the first person who came to mind. So.
Out of all the people...
I met her once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, believe of all the places I met Pamela Anderson, she and Tommy Lee were in Boston and went on to the sea lion boat at the aquarium.
I was going to say, was it on a boat?
Yeah, it was on a boat. Yeah, I met them on the sea lion boat. Both of them walked in. It was my 17-year-old self did not know quite what to do with that. Didn't quite know how to process Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. So...
I got no segue for Tommy Lee or Pam Anderson.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
So I'll go with sort of a John Candy segue to another funny man who's got 3 nominees here.
Oh, wow.
Will Ferrell with Chaz Michael Michaels, Ricky Bobby, Jackie Moon.
Yep. Yeah, all 3 of them. So which of those 3 do you think he'd get in first?
I would say Jackie Moon, but the one that's been the most successful in this vote is Ricky Bobby.
It's Ricky Bobby, because Ricky Bobby's name is in the title. So everyone remembers who that is. I would put Jackie Moon in first and Chaz Michael Michael a distant third from Blades of Glory.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's Ricky Bobby who gets in first.
And it's funny, like you don't think of Will Ferrell as like one of those guys who's sort of like an athletic star. But, I mean, did you see the Ferrell Takes the Field?
No.
So I don't know if it was done by HBO, but that was sort of like the day where Ferrell played for, was it 9 or 10 different baseball teams in spring training?
Okay.
So it sort of like followed that documentary, and then he was like traded for washing machines and stuff like that. It's really, really good.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to his next movie, which is coming out, a Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga.
I just watched it yesterday, because it's out now.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah. Like, is it not out there?
I did. Maybe, but I don't know. And like the only way I know what day it is how my wife's like, "Don't you have your podcast tonight?" But yeah, no, it's that looked good, and my wife and I both want to watch it. How was it?
I liked it. I mean, typical Ferrell thing, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Good. I'm glad because I heard very good things about it. So, which is good because he had that whole time period there where things were not good. So I'm glad that he has one coming out that's pretty good. So
yeah, the wife and I give it 2 thumbs up.
Excellent. All right, so that's 3 Will Ferrells, and I actually don't think any of them are going to get in this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky Bobby's in semifinals. So.
Mm-hmm. So I'll just Adonis Creed is back. I guess the biggest name, Rocky, left.
Mm-hmm.
As a semifinalist. Was a finalist last year, which surprised me.
Yeah, a little surprising, except those movies are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Billy Hoyle, White Men Can't Jump.
Yep. I was wondering if he was there. That's not surprising either. That movie is really, really good, although you don't really see it on any streaming services or TV anytime. Really that much, but that's a really freaking good movie.
Because they got to cut out the best part with Rosie Perez.
Fair enough. That's probably true.
Yeah.
Is Sidney Dean on here too?
No.
Ooh.
Sidney Dean was a semifinalist last year. Billy Hoyle is a semifinalist this year.
Oh, so we're alternating like we were doing with The Cure and the Smiths and
I guess so.
Depeche Mode. Okay, fair enough. I understand. They didn't work last year in the semifinals. They went the other way. That's
for sure. That's what the people are thinking.
I understand that.
Al Cervic, Caddyshack, previous finalist.
Yeah. Yep. That's another one that's going to be, I expect it's going to be a finalist again.
One that I'm surprised has not done better, Jesus Shuttleworth.
Yeah, Ray Allen. That movie is fantastic. I keep saying fantastic. I listen back to these things. I hear myself say fantastic like 400 times, so I need a new word. That movie is scrumtrulescent.
Is that the word we're going to go with? That's your shtick?
That was Will Ferrell, Saturday Night Live skit, where he played the recently departed James Lipton, who was interviewing. Alec Baldwin was playing. Oh my God, the guy from the '70s game shows, with the 3 names. Why can't
Charles Nelson Riley?
Charles Nelson Riley. It's like, Charles Nelson Riley, your acting career is so amazing, a word has not been created in the English language to describe it. So I'm forced to make one up, which I will do now. Charles Nelson Riley, your acting career has been scrumtrulescent. So, I think I might as well there. But anyway, back to Jesus Shuttleworth. That movie and that role that may be, I think, the best basketball movie. And Jesus Shuttleworth and Ray Allen's acting ability, which sort of comes out of nowhere because he doesn't seem to have much of a personality, really.
No.
I mean, then again, when the 2008 Celtics won the championship, he was on a team with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, who, I mean, Garnett's one of the most charismatic people in the league history. And Pierce is it was part of the team and not exactly a shy guy. But he is fantastic in that movie. That whole movie is wonderful.
Sometimes shit doesn't translate. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal's got personality for days. I didn't believe him as Neon Bordeaux in Blue Chips.
Yeah. He should have played Wayne Gretzky. He would have been more believable. More fireworks. My goodness, there's so many. They've been going off basically on and off this entire time. It's crazy how many fireworks are out there for a state that doesn't allow fireworks.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you can't buy them in Illinois. You have to go to Indiana. Go over the border, like all of Indiana, when you get within 15 miles. It's like crazy somebody. I can't remember his name. But it's just like a guy with squirrely eyes for fireworks depots all through Indiana so you can bring them into Illinois.
I think that's sort of like a prerequisite. If you're going to be selling fireworks and like a billboard off the interstate, you've got to be crazy something.
Yeah, true.
Right. So I got 7 more for you.
Okay.
All right. Returning semifinalist Ray Finkel.
Ooh. Interesting. That name sort of means something, and I can't remember exactly what.
Ace Ventura.
Oh, God, yes. Okay. Yeah.
So the first person who was a trans person to win the Super Bowl. Oh, no, they didn't win the Super Bowl. They won the AFC Championship.
That is correct.
And it's because Ray Finkel cost them the Super Bowl. Laces out,
right.
Marino.
That is right. Okay. Yes, playing for the Washington Sentinels.
The Miami Dolphins. Shane Falco was the Washington Sentinel.
Oh. He did play for the Falcons. I'm sorry. Correct. All right.
So another returning...
Apparently that's the problem with you springing me to something. I'm trying to remember stuff that I haven't thought about. So.
Well, he was traded for a player to be named later in the 82 offseason. That's why you don't remember.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, continue.
Returning semifinalist, one I'm really big on, but I don't see going anywhere. From the White Shadow, Warren Coolidge.
Yeah, White Shadow is basically the memory of that is mostly kept alive by Bill Simmons loving that show so much.
I'm with him. I love it too.
But White Shadow is a really, really good movie. Sorry, not movie. Really, really good TV show.
Mm-hmm.
If you have anyone, that's a worthy person for the show.
So I've got 4 first-timers and one super heavyweight returnee. Which do you want first?
Let's do the first-timers, then we'll see if I can guess the last one.
Okay. So first-timer just put out a movie, Uncle Drew.
Ah, yes, America's craziest basketball player. Now that Ron Artest or Meta World Peace or whatever he's called is retired.
Yeah, with all due respect to Kyrie, I don't think that if I'm an NBA player, I want the guy who thinks the world is flat to be my spokesman.
Hey, the Flat Earth Society has numbers all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Kyrie. He's an interesting individual. Love to watch him play.
I love to watch him play when he's engaged. What he did last season against the Bucks in that second round playoff, where he just basically decided he was done, is a massive indictment on him and his career. And granted, I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm going to have more negative feeling towards it than others. But if anyone ever quit on a team like that, I don't care whether it's Boston team or another team.
I get it.
Like with Scottie Pippen still gets remembered for not going back to that game in '95. Mm-hmm. Because they did draw up the play for him. That's one thing. But like Kyrie, they won the first game in that Bucks series, and then he just decided that's enough. We're done.
Well, you don't have to explain it to me. I mean, last week I talked about my disdain for Vince Carter. It took me 10 years to get over it.
Right. Yeah. But hey, we got a really fun Celtics team out of it that it's going to start playing again, even though I think the Bucks are going to win the championship. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. So the next 3 I think are great names, finally getting their due. So it might be a bigger surprise that that they've never been a semifinalist before.
Okay.
All right, so from Jerry Maguire, Show Me the Money. Rod Tidwell is a semifinalist for the first time.
I can't believe he's the first-time semifinalist. So I think we've talked about that before. Like, how is he not getting through? He is definitely worthy. One of the most memorable, I guess, supporting characters in any sports movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, in that movie, it's the best. He's the best thing in that movie, and the second best thing in that movie is the goldfish that he takes with him after he leaves Burt Sugar's group. But no, Rod Tidwell definitely deserves his spot as a as a semifinalist.
Yeah, Academy Award winner. And what do you do after you win the Oscar? You say, I'm going to do a film called Boat Trip.
Yeah,
was it radio
but he was
that
in Men
came
of
after?
Honor. Did you ever see Men of Honor?
Wasn't that before?
Was that before?
I don't know.
I think that was after. Hold on, let's double check that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that was before. Either way, though, I mean, it's just I don't know who sort of like fell off in terms of roles more of any Academy Award winner in recent memory. I'm sure there's somebody.
No, but I mean, Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah.
He was in As Good as It Gets and Then What Dreams May Come and Instinct and Men of Honor and Pearl Harbor. Eventually he made Rat Race, but it was like quite a few in there that were pretty good. I mean, then he made Rat Race and he was in Zoolander in a cameo, but Rat Race and Snow Dogs and Boat Trip weren't so good.
Actually, I can think of two whose career fell apart right after, but they never really had one to begin with.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, because people come here for the Oscar talk. Marlee Matlin.
Okay.
Well, because what else was she going to play?
Right.
And Hang S. Noor, The Killing Fields. So I don't think ever acted again.
Highly possible. Yeah, I'm looking at this. So he has a whole bunch of them that are direct to video for like a decade.
Ooh.
So he has American Gangster in 2007, and then his next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 of his next 17 films he have are direct to video. So.
Eesh,
and then,
not too good. That's Steven Seagal territory.
Then he was in The Butler, where he was nominated for a Screen SAG Award.
I don't even remember him in that.
He's in Selma as well.
Yeah, Selma I haven't seen yet. So by the way, Tidwell, I think he's a great semifinalist. Our only cyclist and first-time nominee.
From Breaking Away?
Yep. Dave Stoller.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to have someone from a cycling movie, it's kind of hard to choose someone else.
Yeah, that movie, granted, so like it would have been 7 at the time. I don't really remember it being big as a little kid, but I certainly, in certain research, it was a massively successful film.
Mm-hmm.
So
it won an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I think
he was nominated for 5 Oscars, including Best Picture.
Okay, yeah, so he won. Sorry, did he win an award for something? I think did he win a Golden Globe? And I apologize, I'm blanking on the name of the actual actor. I can remember the other name of the 3 names of the other people.
Dennis Christopher was the actor.
Dennis Christopher, okay. And then on that team was Dennis Quaid, not Kelly Leak, because that was the actor again. Jackie Earl Haley. Yep. And Daniel Stern?
Daniel Stern, correct. Okay. Yep, those are the main guys. So he won a BAFTA award for Most Promising Newcomer.
All right, so he won something.
Yeah, and he won first Young Artist Award for Best Juvenile Actor in a Motion Picture.
Okay, and that's from BAFTA?
No, it was something called the Young Artist Awards. It was the first one they ever had. So it's been awarded for 40 years now. The first one was October of 1979.
Do I want to know some of the past winners?
I don't know. Let's see. I guess it stopped in 2017. Let's see. I look at 2017. Best performance in a feature film by leading young actor was Jacob Tremblay from Wonder.
Okay.
I don't know. Best supporting actress was Austin Johnson from The Greatest Showman. they're just all for, I guess, for youth in movies.
Okay. And so the third one that I'm super, super happy about, from North Dallas 40, Jack Elliott.
I've never seen North Dallas 40.
Okay, that's a must-watch. That movie gets a bit of the credit for just trying to bring a lot of grit into sports movies that didn't exist before. Now, I think when people say that, they're sort of, I don't want to say overlooking the Burt Reynolds version of The Longest Yard, but that wasn't set in a pro league.
Got it.
So, like, one of my favorite lines that I quote all the time from the former Sloth and the late John Matuzek, who's in that film, blowing up, where he says, "When we say it's a sport, you say it's a business. When we say it's a business, you say it's a game." I butchered that completely, but it's one of those go-tos that I always sort of like think about, how anytime I'm almost reading a sports article about money, that kind of comes in the back of my head.
Yeah. Yep. And then they claim poverty, and
which
anyway,
we're seeing that all over the place now. So we got one heavyweight left.
Okay, can you give me the sport at least?
Football.
Interesting.
I say heavyweight
player
because this one's been fourth place finisher twice. Always a finalist.
Oh man,
has never not been a finalist. And to make it easier, I think it doesn't hurt. You talk about alphabet bias.
Oh,
based in your current city.
My current what?
City.
I was going to say Al Bundy.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's finished fourth twice, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
So I'd say he's.
You think Bundy? You think this is year he gets over the top?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think it doesn't hurt too that Ed O'Neill's sort of coming off another great series. I never, ever, ever thought he would ever shed the label of Al Bundy, but Jay Pritchett, another great character, good on him. He did what I thought was impossible.
He did. That's true.
Which means out of the four main characters, only Bud Bundy never found something else to do.
Yes, that's true. Never thought of it.
Yeah, because Katie Seagal was fantastic in Sons of Anarchy. Christina Applegate had a nice movie career. Still does.
Yeah. Yeah, David Faustino, though, what did he do?
Nothing.
Hold on. Just looking at his stuff here quickly. He was in Sharknado, the fourth.
Okay.
Playing a character named Bud.
Oh, okay. That must have been a stretch.
He's a voice actor from The Legend of Korra. Yeah, he seems mostly to have gone into voice acting.
And if he's still working, good on him, but it's clearly the weak link of the fourth. Maybe the Teddy Roosevelt, but Teddy Roosevelt seems to be the only one of those people who isn't being canceled these days.
So you got to walk softly and carry a big stick. Well, Lincoln's not being canceled.
There have been statues been taken down of Lincoln.
Lincoln? No. There's been one taken down at Grant.
Yeah, Grant too, but there's been two, one in your hometown of Boston.
They took down a Grant statue in Boston?
No, Lincoln.
I don't think I heard anything about that.
Yeah, Lincoln.
I don't even know where he had a Lincoln statue in Boston.
Apparently, there was one, and I think I've got this right, where Lincoln is freeing the slaves, and it was apparently paid for by the freed slaves back, obviously, over.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, I do know that statue.
Okay. So,
the one with the slave kneeling in front of him.
Which, I mean, visually, I get it.
Yeah.
But
I do that statue.
Yeah. So yeah, Lincoln too.
Well, okay.
No one came here for that.
Yeah. No. So, all right. Well, that was a good synopsis of what's happening here in the upcoming semifinalists. We're going to aim to do the one for the Rock Hall or Fictitious Rock Hall next.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So we can do that unless there's some big news that sort of pushes things back.
Sounds good.
But I'm going to give you a preview, though, and just say that you'll be very, very happy with one of the nominees for the Rock Hall.
Nice. I hope. Is it one that I have pushed for?
Yes, it is.
People have seen the movie. Excellent. Cool, man.
Myself included.
I will look forward to talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. All right, stay safe, Evan.
All right, later, man. Bye.
All right, bye. Thank you so much for listening. Look for new content regularly at NotHallOfFame.com, and we hope you all stay safe. Thank you.